Hello and a warm welcome to TBC News. Our top stories. Billions allocated for ring road construction. New impetus to forestry sector. Good evening, I am Nasa Kingu. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBC Online. Government has provided 122.7 billion Tanzanian shillings to complete the ring road construction project, which is expected to improve transportation and hence stimulate the economic activities in the Dodoma region. Here is a report by Mwanaheri Jaza, read by Lulua Muhammad.
The project has created job opportunities for Tanzanians, and here TBC witnesses some Tanzanians working hard to ensure the project finishes on time.
We have managed to get employment. We work professionally and honestly. We have good progress in this work.
I come from Arusha and I got a job here. In fact, we benefit because young people get jobs and are able to take their children to school. We thank the President for providing enough opportunities.
Women also are on the forefront to implement and oversee the project.
They
have been able to hire 303 employees and have been able to balance gender. There are 30 women, and they have been hired from the highest to the lowest levels. There are female engineers, operators, and laboratory staff as well.
The TANROADS manager in the Dodoma region, Engineer Leonard Chimagu, clarifies the phases of the project to its completion.
I would like to thank the President, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, for bringing this project in. This project is 112.3 kilometers long and is divided into two parts. The first part starts from Nara and all the way to Veyula, where it intersects the road that goes to Arusha. It goes to Mtumba, the road to Morogoro, Ihumwa at the dry port. The second part starts from the dry port of Ihumwa to Matunduru and crosses the Iringa Road to Nara. The implementation period is 43 months, and this project started last year in September and will be completed in March 2025.
Apart from managing this project, TANROADS are also responsible for managing the Msalato International Airport project in Dodoma, whose construction is ongoing, costing 359.6 billion shillings, which is expected to be completed in April 2025.
Good news there for the Dodoma residents. The ambassador of Finland to Tanzania, Teresa Zitting, says government of Finland will cooperate with Tanzania to improve the forestry sector for farmers in Iringa and Njombe regions, many of whom depend on the trees to increase their income. He was inspecting the fields of the tree farmers of Wangama village located in Kilolo district in Iringa region. Irene Mwakaringa was there and has more details.
The tree crop is the leading source of domestic revenue for the Iringa region. However, tree farmers are still using traditional farming methods and low-quality seeds, resulting in poor yields. The Kilolo District Commissioner Peres Magiri said that the private forestry program funded by the government of Finland has reached 80 villages in the regions of Iringa and Njombe and has proved to be beneficial.
This is a project that has been executed in our villages. There are 5 villages in Kilolo district, including Wangama village. This is a project that deals with the forest only.
After seeing the plantations of trees planted by the farmers of Wangama village, the ambassador of Finland in the country, Teresa Zitting, say that her government will continue to enable the tree farmers in the country to cultivate with expertise.
Had a very good cooperation for the past 60 years in various sectors, and most specifically in the forestry sector for the 40 years, and with this region, and Iringa being one of the very main areas where we have been cooperating.
Farmers at Wangama village admit to finding new methods in the project.
Tupo tayari kabisa kudhibiti hili eneo.
We are ready to protect this area, and we have prepared the task force to control and extinguish bushes fires.
Speaking during the visit, a representative official from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism says wildfire is still a problem and threat to forest development.
Bush burning is a huge problem, and it contributes to the destruction of forest reserve. Farming is good and we need it. However, the type of farming that involves cutting down trees and burning bushes is a main threat to our forest.
The Iringa Regional Commissioner Halima Dendego thanks Finland for its effort to boost the timber sector in the region and asks the state to enable the training center located in Mafinga town to reach many farmers.
Let me forward our request to you, Your Excellency, and the government of Finland to extend this support. This excellent program PFP has covered only 23 villages out of 360 villages within the region. Still, there is a lot to be done.
Irene Mwakalinga, TBC, Iringa.
Thank you very much, Irene Mwakalinga. Horticulture has been growing rapidly in Tanzania. However, the presence of crop pests such as Tuta absoluta has made the use of pesticides necessary, something that threatens the safety of biodiversity. Here is a report by Good Hope Amani, read by Faithan Gaga.
Kipera village, located at Mvomero district in Morogoro region, is famous for tomato farming. Tabia Omari, Samin Rashid and Rajabu Hamis have been tomato farmers for more than 30 years now. They say the increase in pests forces them to increase the use of different pesticides than how it was in the past.
Once you start farming, you use a lot of pesticides from the early stages to the harvesting stage. The pesticides for Tuta absoluta and others have to be brought on a weekly basis.
The pesticides are costly. The Tuta absoluta pests are troubling us.
As you can see, the harvesting season has started. In the past, we did not use pesticides, but now we must use pesticides for the tomato to turn out healthy. You have to use it every week. This is costly. The farmer uses a lot of money, but the profit is small.
Misuse as well as excessive use of pesticides are said to increase due to the increase in modern farming. Mr. Vitalis Fabian is an agro-input dealer in Morogoro. He says the problem is that many farmers have been using their pesticides without following the required instructions, an issue that endangers the environment.
The farmer usually comes here with his own pesticides in mind. And so, when you try to ask him questions, you find out the pests and the pesticides don't match.
According to the Tanzania Plant Health and Pesticides Authority, TPHPA, the use of pesticides in agriculture is high, especially in the southern highlands and the regions of Iringa, Mbeya, Songwe, Ruvuma, and Njombe. Rafael Mwezi, an officer from Tanzania Plant Health and Pesticides Authority, says the biggest challenge is the presence of pesticides that are imported in the country illegally.
These challenges include the importation of pesticides illegally. You know, our country has many borders, so some dishonest traders import pesticides illegally. Therefore, we test the samples of pesticides in order to determine if they are of the required standard. After registration, we then conduct an experimental research on them to see if they meet the criteria. Afterwards, we conduct monitoring, technically known as post-surveillance.
Sokoine University of Agriculture has always been of great help when it comes to agriculture, since a number of researches have been conducted here on how to improve farming. Here at the Institute of Pest Management, I meet Dr. Martin, who explains how pesticides affect biodiversity.
Kile kiuatilifu kwa mfano kimetengenezwa kwa ajili ya kuua tuta.
That pesticide, for instance, has been manufactured to kill Tuta absoluta, but it can also affect friendly insects such as bees and butterflies, whose job is to pollinate the crops. But also, the pesticides can affect water sources and the soil, since in the soil there is friendly insects whose job is to make it fertile. Therefore, pesticides affect biodiversity because it kills insects who are actually useful.
Wadudu wengine ambao hawajakusudiwa.
Furthermore, Dr. Martin says that alternative and relevant methods of controlling pests, if used properly, are very effective, as their studies confirm.
Watafiti wamekuja na njia mbadala.
Researchers have come up with many alternative ways, including the making of these traps. These traps catch flies who attack fruits.
According to a study by RTI International, Tanzania is among the countries with the most biodiversity in the world, with more than 55,000 species proven to exist. There is a great need for farmers to focus on friendly ways to fight pests in order to reduce the heavy use of pesticides that can destroy biodiversity unintentionally and endanger human health.
Tanzania Electrical and Mechanical Agency Advisory Board acknowledges support by President Dr. Suluhu Hassan following solving the budget deficit challenge facilitating maintenance of government vehicles by the agency. Speaking during his visit to the government vehicle maintenance workshop in Mwanza region, the board chairman, engineer Deogratias Nyanda, says that the agency has received sufficient funds and assures its customers that the agency will continue to repair government vehicles on time and with quality required. Here's a report by Moses Matthew, read by Father Ngaga.
Kigongo Busisi Ferry in Mwanza region is an important transportation link between the Lake region and other Great Lake countries. The government has been taking various measures to improve water transportation, including repairing MV Misungwi Ferry.
The MV Misungwi Ferry is in the final stages, and we expected within 2 weeks from now, we will do preliminary tests to be able to complete it. In fact, this ferry has been highly stored because it has been closed with new equipment. As you can see, the new machines, wiring system, driving equipment doors, new rescue equipment, so everything is new.
The maintenance of the ferry cost the government 924 million shillings and will be completed in the next 2 weeks. Completion of the major repairs of MV Misungwi Ferry will make the number of ferries providing services along the Kigongo-Busisi area to 4. Ferries that are currently providing services are MV Mwanza, MV Sabasaba, and MV Sengerema.
We wanted to be assured with the contractor this week for his promise and the way we saw it there. So by the end of this month, it will be ready to return to continue providing services. We are going with the promise we were given, and we believe it will be so.
The TEMESA Advisory Board has inspected the services of the Kigongo-Busisi Ferry and emphasizes the government's commitment to continue to improve the transport services in the area.
The government has planned and focused on providing funds and ensuring that the ferries are working. Let me assure you that after a while, the condition of the ferries will improve and TEMESA service will improve as we have planned.
The board, being in Mwanza region, has also inspected the ongoing construction of a vehicle maintenance workshop in Mwanza city.
The Mwanza garage is the one that provides this service to the entire region of Mwanza. So all government vehicles and other electrical and fire equipment are serviced from this garage. So we are here to see how they carry out their daily duties. The government has just given a lot of money for repairs and maintenance. So we are very grateful for our President Samia Suluhu Hassan for seeing that now. The thing that were hindering were related to the budget and insufficient funds. But for now, let us assure you that we will provide a very good service due to these changes that have occurred.
The price increase of wheat has motivated many farmers in Sumbawanga district, Rukwa region, to expand their farms and increase production. Our reporter Jose Cheo has visited some of the farmers, and here is the full report.
The wheat crop is the fourth crop for production in the Rukwa region after the production of maize, rice, and beans. It is a crop that has helped the farmers to increase income and grow their economy.
Wheat has been very beneficial to me. For example, I have been able to take my 3 children to school, from primary school to the university level. Wheat crop is very marketable unlike other crops such as maize crop.
Through wheat farming, I have been able to build a house for myself. I also have livestock. Wheat farming has empowered me because the wheat price is good, and we also have specialized people who train us on it. The government has provided us with trainers, of which the people here responded well to the training. People have been able to change their lives through wheat farming.
I think wheat farming is going to be a good source of income to me.
Despite the price of wheat being an incentive for farmers to increase their production this season, the biggest challenge facing wheat farmers at Ulingi village is the harvesting process.
The challenge that farmers face here is machines for harvesting. Harvesting by bare hands causes loss of crops. If we had the machines for harvesting, the loss would be reduced and the wheat would be in clean conditions.
The machines for harvesting are very costly. Therefore, the only problem is harvesting and not farming.
Harvesting by machine is expensive. For instance, 1 hectare costs 100,000 shillings or 95,000.
Jose Cheo, TBC News, Rukwa.
That item concludes local news tonight. International news is up next. And here is international news compiled by Ramadan Impenta and read by Flora Mwano.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has said he is ready to mediate talks with the warring sides in Sudan in an effort to stop the fighting and start negotiations aimed at restoring stability in Sudan. Speaking at a meeting with Egypt's Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, the President el-Sisi added that he and his counterpart, President Salva Kiir from South Sudan, are both ready to play a mediation role. He said, together with President Salva Kiir, they are in constant contact with the two fighting sides to encourage them to cease fire and end the bloodshed of the Sudanese and reaching negotiations that leads to restoring stability once again. The power struggle in Sudan pits General Abdel Fattah Burhan, the commander of the armed forces, against his former ally, General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, who heads the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, a paramilitary group. El-Sisi also said Egypt was in contact with the RSF in order to secure the release of a number of Egyptian troops who were captured in Sudan. The president of Egypt insisted that the soldiers had been taking part in joint exercises and were not deployed to Sudan to side with anyone or to support a side against another. The Azimio la Umoja coalition in Kenya has announced that they will not be participating in any parliamentary processes regarding the bipartisan talks, claiming that Kenya Kwanza has shown a lack of transparency to resolve political crisis in Kenya. While addressing the media on behalf of Wazimio in Nairobi, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has said that they now want out of the parliament talks since Kenya Kwanza has shown no intention to hold honest dialogue. He added that the decision was made after they got wind of a motion Kenya Kwanza has drafted, which they say is allegedly aimed at setting up a joint select committee in parliament.
Last evening, we learned of a motion drafted by Kenya Kwanza leadership, allegedly aimed at setting up a joint select committee in parliament. The motion is in absolute bad faith for the following reasons. A, we have insisted on an extra-parliamentary process in view of the strictures of debate in Parliament. We will therefore not participate in any such parliamentary process. B, the motion is disguised as a product of bipartisanship, when in fact the leadership of Azimio and Parliament were neither aware nor consulted in its drafting.
The Wiper Party leader went on to note that Kenya Kwanza has exhibited bad faith from the beginning of setting up the bipartisan talks and will be resuming their weekly protest once the Ramadan period ends. And Tunisian main opposition leader Rashid Ghannouchi has been arrested after statements reported by the media, in which Mr. Ghannouchi said that Tunisia would be threatened with a civil war if political Islam Ennahda, from which his party originated, was eliminated there. Ghannouchi, aged 81 years, was arrested by police at his home in Tunis. Ennahda Vice President Montha Lunisi told a press conference that Ghannouchi had been taken to a police barracks for questioning and that his lawyers had not been allowed to attend. Ghannouchi was the Speaker of the Tunisian Parliament before President Kais Saied dissolved it and went on to seize wide-reaching powers through a series of moves opponents have dubbed a coup. Since early February this year, authorities in Tunisia have arrested more than 20 political opponents and personalities, including former ministers, businessmen, trade unionists, and the owner of the Tunisia's most popular radio station, Mosaic FM. But the Tunisian President Kais Saied claims that those detained are terrorists involved in a conspiracy against Tunisian national security.
That was international news. Sports news is up next. And here is sports news with Malio Cheto.
Simba Sports Club says they will use the experience of eliminating African Champions League defending champion Zamalek in 2003 to crash out Wydad Casablanca in the upcoming quarter-final clash, first leg to be played next Saturday at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam. Simba Sports Club Information Officer Ahmed Ali reveals that the preparation against defending champion Wydad Casablanca has been the same as they had to crash out defending champion Zamalek in 2003.
Unapokwenda kucheza na Wydad haupaswi kwenda kichwa kichwa.
If you are going to play against Wydad without precautions, expect to be crashed out. So, you have to take high precaution. Any football match is decided in 90 minutes of the match. We believe that our players, they want to play semi-final. They want this match. So they're giving us confidence with all qualities of Wydad. We are going to fight against them.
Simba plays defending champion Wydad Casablanca First League at Benjamin Mkapa on Saturday before they play the return league match 1 week in Morocco. Former national team Taifa Stars and Simba Sports Club alumni to urges football players to invest their money in business activities as well as social funds as the preparation of football retirement plan. Former Simba Sports Club and Taifa Stars defender Mwitu told the TBC reporter in Dar es Salaam that players, they should use this opportunity as much as possible